Welcome.
Welcome
Welcome
to
Empire of
to Empire
Arts.
Arts.
of Arts.
Empire of Arts.
To Empire of Arts.
Thank Empire of Arts.
Thank you so much, Empire of Arts. That's too kind.
Empire of Arts. 696. Welcome back, brother. Love you. TTU, baby. I actually had a chance to speak with Empire of Arts family. Wife and kids. The whole family's amazing. I'm going to let you guys know because Empire of Arts is like me, very humble, very modest. Doesn't brag on himself too much. But that dude's a cool fucking dude. That's a cool fucking dude. Awesome family, cool fucking dude.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Lawman and the scholars of the universe.
I am Chille, constitutional law scholar and defender of the secrets of the dungeon. Fabulous secret powers were revealed to me when I lifted my magic trifle above my head and said, "By the power of YouTube, I am a scholar." And I became Lawman, the most powerful man in the universe. I defend the Constitution from the horrifically bad people who locked me up for no reason.
Hello. Hey, what's going on, Empires? And what's going on, everyone? And welcome to Empire of Arts. Once again, we are live tonight. And in tonight's episode, we are going to watch another Frauditors, another idiot Frauditors, and another update for Mr. Chille de Castro. So apparently, he's out. Well, before we start, I would like to welcome my co-host, Dark Angel Rose. How's it going? Your microphone is not. Oh. And also, William Atkinson, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to Empire of Arts.
Hello, everyone.
There you go. Now it's working. Six. All right, so anyways, so we will be reacting. We're gonna be reacting to Frauditors again and again, and it's going to be the same thing over and over again.
Oh Lord, again, a fucking again. Nothing new, nothing changed, same old shit, same old.
Exactly, it's the same thing over and over again. But at the same time, it's just give it a laugh. Some entertainment to all people. At the same time, well, we all know they were funny at the same time because they're stupid.
Well, let's face it, they're our entertainment.
Yep, exactly. And also, what's funny part about it is the way they cry. All right, well, here we go. William Atkinson says, the giant is out and on the loose. The judge let me down. I know, right?
The judge and the prosecutor let us down big time.
Man, tell me about it. I was looking at that video, actually. I kind of lost that video. Oh, man, give me a second here. Bear with me real quick. Give me a second. I do have those video. I wanted to add it up. Where's that? Give me a second. Should be one of the video for clips, I guess. Come on now. I do have one of those. It's not here. For some reason, it was deleted. Deleted. Give me a second. Uh, oh man. Man, it's not here. I got the power of Mr. De Castro. Deleted it. Probably somebody, some Chile. Oh, there you go. There you go. I found it. There you go.
Well, I'm a great big dildo. I'm a dildo. I'm a great big dildo.
Man. Yes, he is. But I feel sorry for that. Well, I would love to say, by the way, before we start with our video, before we react for our video, I would like to say happy birthday to Blackbeard Hacking. If he ever here, and yeah, happy birthday, man. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Pirate.
Yeah, hope you are having fun with your birthday today. But anyways, here we go. Let's start our engine. Vroom, vroom, vroom. All right, let's start our engine and watch the video. All right, here we go. So then the video title of this thing that we were going to react is "This Frauditor Requested to be Arrested and the Cop Politely Obliges." Wow. Oh man. Ooh. Holy crap. All right, well, that being said, let's get into it.
Hey, ask and you shall receive.
Yeah. Holy crap. All right, let's do this. Let's do this.
Hi everyone.
Oh, and also shout out to 1A Audits Expose. If you guys want to watch his video, if you guys want to be if you guys want to subscribe to his channel at the same time, here we go. Let me link the channel. That's the video, but you can click his channel in there and subscribe to his channel. His channel is pretty good and he does a pretty good job, actually. And you guys know that I came back to being cartoons again. All right, so here we go. Let's do this. Oh man.
Welcome back to the channel for another First Amendment expose. Today I chose a video from Bodycam Uncensored. In this video, Joey Surreal is getting arrested and he won't stop crying about it. All right.
Joey Surreal gonna get arrested. That is so interesting.
Again.
Yeah. Again. Yeah.
All right, let's do this.
Oh, that's hot.
Exactly.
That's hot.
Joel Lopez, one of my favorite Frauditor, LOL, is getting arrested in this bodycam video. And that's what is fun but also disturbing about bodycam video. It's that instead of watching the victims of the Frauditor, we have to watch the actual Frauditor. And it's not always easy, especially in this case. The video was released lately and the arrest is from a few months ago. Enjoy.
And again, filming in a post office that they're not supposed to do, which is they didn't read the sign. Oh Lord, I mean, man, this guy is something else. Dude.
I don't know what's going on. They called you guys for recording in public. What's your name and badge number? Officer Collins. 408. What's your name and badge number? What's your name and badge number? You know this is a federal building?
And
oh Lord. Again.
Yeah, asking for the name and badge number. What are you gonna do with the name and badge number? You can't even win the court case. What are you gonna do with it? What?
Keeping a file of harassment. That's what they're going to do with it.
Yeah, and also for clicks and views. Because, you know, it's saying that he's a Mr. Tough Guy. Yeah. So people can, like, actually watch his channel.
Right. Oh, you know I'm allowed to film here, right?
Nobody's telling you not to film.
Oh, I'm just saying, you guys are rushing like you're intimidating me. It's not gonna happen.
We're not intimidating.
It looks like it.
Let's walk outside.
I'm not going outside.
Let's walk outside.
I'm not going outside.
Of course. How selfish of me. Let's do all the things that you want to do.
And I'm just going to point out, if you were really intimidated, you wouldn't keep doing this.
Mm-hmm. Right? Right? Frauditors. They think they can do whatever the heck they want.
You have an ID?
Huh?
You have an ID?
You serious? Did I commit a crime?
You have an ID?
I have an ID.
I just want to identify yourself.
I have an ID.
Okay, let me see your ID.
I'm not. Give me your ID.
Let me see your
Let
ID.
me see your ID. I don't gotta identify nothing. Listen, I come with no ill will.
He is not going to show his ID because he's a felony. He's a fugitive. My opinion. And at the same time, he's not going to. He's not going to. But William Atkinson. Sorry. William Atkinson says the look on his face when she's agreed to arrest him is priceless. I know, right? It is actually. Oh man, this guy is so dude.
Like, give me your ID. I don't care what you do. If you want to take me in right now, let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Okay.
You want to do
it? He accept to get arrested. That's funny. That is so funny. Amy G, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to Empire of Arts.
You can hear us for a second. Turn around.
For resisting?
So the sound is horrible, but so far it just dropped a few classics like that he can't be trespassing without a crime and blah 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 blah. The usual BS. And Joey, don't complain this time that you're getting arrested. You literally asked for it.
Yeah. He's like, go ahead.
Is it too early to say it? Can I curse yet? Because you just fucked around and found out.
I know, right? Oh man.
Let's put this show out of its misery.
Okay, what you do? You want to take me in right now? Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
You have a firearm inside the.
I don't have a firearm. That's her firearm. I don't have a firearm. No, I don't.
That's yours?
That's hers. I'll get it. You get him. Yo, chill with the handcuffs, dude. Yo, you guys are dude.
What are you gonna do? Sue them?
Well, he's gonna try.
Yeah. And they were gonna lose all the time. If you don't want the cops to bother you,
Stop breaking the law, asshole!
yes, stop breaking the dang law, please.
What are you charging me with? Is your body camera?
Oh yeah.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
Yeah, it's on. And we're watching everything.
Yeah.
What are you
It
charging
does.
me?
And he asked for it too.
Yeah, holy crap. That is so funny. Oh man. All right. Well, William Atkinson says you don't have to identify to go to jail, but you have to identify to get out. Right.
What
What are you charging me with? What are you charging me with? You know who I am, right?
Who do you think you are, you snot-faced little punk? Let me make this clear for you, okay? You are nothing.
Yes. Whoo. Yes. Thank you. Oh man, I swear their brain is yep.
That was his brain when he said, "Go ahead and arrest me," and she did.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, it's time. It's time to
stop!
Yeah. They really need to stop. They really need to. But I don't think they will. Like, for example, let's say Chille is out and it's going to be worse for
Oh yeah,
sure.
he's gonna be 10 times, if not more, insufferable.
Oh man, we're gonna deal with this again. Oh man. All right, let's continue the video.
I'm not gonna give you my ID. Okay, don't give me your ID. Did I commit a crime? Did I commit a Is the body cam on?
You're resisting.
Resisting
You're
or what?
resisting.
What's that?
You are
How am I
You're
resisting?
disturbing the Prince of Peace too.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Give me here your supervisor before you take me
Of
into the car.
course.
Give me a
What
supervisor.
does he mean? What is that? He knows what resisting is. He's been charged with it before.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's wrong move here, bro. I just come and get a stamp. I'm gonna record there. They had a meltdown. That's it.
All right, brother. Just come in here real quick.
I want a supervisor, dude.
No, we're
I'm
gonna
gonna
get
call.
Yeah. William, what do you think? What do you think, man?
I'm calling Bull.
I am too. I am. Oh man. And of course, they wanted a supervisor. For what? For what? Supervisor's gonna say the same thing to them. Exactly the same thing. And if the supervisors say the same thing, what are they gonna ask? They're gonna ask for what? The higher up? The God? God can't be arrested? Is
I
that what
like
Glenn
how they
Sario
keep
said?
calling the supervisor expecting a different result and still get the same result. They're not
Right?
going to agree with you.
And like I said, it's always gonna be.
Oh Lord. Again. A fucking again. Nothing new, nothing changed, same old shit. Same.
Yes, all the time.
Especially with this one.
Exactly.
No, your female officer's off the hook. The poster 7 right there, I'll show it to you. It says besides the First Amendment, in any federal property, I'm allowed to record in public, dude. So I want a supervisor, man.
Yeah, we're gonna bring a supervisor.
If she makes a more worse mistake, dude.
Tomorrow.
Oh, my bad. DDC, welcome. That's what I'm gonna say. DDC, welcome to Empire of Arts. Thank you for tuning in. I know it's funny. I'm not gonna say that. All right. William Atkinson says the governor should just be on standby for these clowns. Yep. Yep. All right. Let's continue the video.
I don't know what crime she's gonna charge me with. That's all. That's what I want to know. It's tight, dude. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm serious, dude.
Oh man. ATL Transparency News, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. And he said, oh, by the way, Chille won his court cases and all charges were dropped. Yeah, because
I'd say the prosecutor failed, and so did the judge. She really needed to get educated on who she was dealing with. And that's just sad that she didn't know.
Yeah. And like I said, he's going to be doing the things over and over and over again. And it's going to be wild. And that makes,
Let's put this show out of its misery.
Yeah. Oh, man, I think it needs to.
It's time to stop.
It's time to stop. Yes, exactly. But anyways, Blackbeard hacking C. There you go. Blackbeard hacking C. Happy birthday, and welcome and thank you for tuning in Empire of Arts. Happy birthday, dude. Wait. What just happened? I did not see that. I missed that part. Give me a second here. What happened? Why is that funny? Let me see.
Overact much?
Yeah. Is probably is probably is probably crying. Oh man, look at that face. I got the right face right there.
Have I hurt you? Don't be silly. Acting! Brilliant! Thank you! Thank you!
Brilliant. The acting was so great. Abby Pollen, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. It's been a while. How are you doing? Hope everything's okay. All right, let's play the video.
I want to understand, but I was on my way out. They had a meltdown. I was recording on the sidewalk in the back, dude. I saw me with my camera on. And I didn't interact with anybody. Meltdown.
Is this one good?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
I'm gonna fix this one.
Yeah, appreciate that.
I'm sorry.
Wait. Okay, go.
Sit down for a little bit.
Day 2.
So you guys rushed over here like I got robbed the bank.
No, the way
That's just
What?
That's a wise thing to say in the back of a police car, buddy.
Yep. Oh man. Oh, this guy. I'm trying to find a clip for like fitting for it at the same time. But it's so. I have so many stuff in here that I can't even remember. Holy crap! This one. Yeah, laugh at it because damn, that is such a freaking crazy acting at the same time. Oh man, and Abby, hope you feel better soon.
District, I get it. I know. And you guys don't even have jurisdiction here, do you? This is federal property, bro.
Well, we were still responsible here.
Oh, you guys are still. Yeah. Some post offices has.
You dumb butt. You know that it's federal property. Why are you still doing that bullshit? You know that. You. Dude. Did you hear what he said? He just said it's a federal property. He knows, but he's too dumb to like understand what he's supposed to do. You know? And William Atkinson says Joel should start frauditing a treadmill. Yeah, that's true. Because I'm seeing his belly, like he got that beer belly right there, that big one.
You guys don't need to show. It's a lot of federal properties. It's supposed to.
You know what? I think him and what's his name, LIA, they need to work out so bad. They do. They actually do. If you see LIA, you can see like a freaking giant at the same time. You know their leader is, right? Froze.
Yep.
It was the big guy. All right. You guys already know who it is, but I'm going to say it later. Josh Abrams.
He's getting on that bra level.
Yep.
Guys can detain you now?
We can detain.
Of course, cops can intervene at the post office. Joel, not one thing you say has any legal ground to rest on. It's fantasy after fantasy.
Flash, like by between 20 and 18. There's a time limit for detainment. There's a time.
Don't forget Georgia transparency. Yes. He's the same thing.
From detainment, bro. So I'm just letting us.
No.
Alright. I'm cool, bro.
You're good? I was gonna put the AC tomorrow.
It's
I don't know.
blowing, but it's good. You can stay at it. You want to do it.
There, another fantasy. Maximum time for detainment. Cops can keep you as long as they can prove it was necessary.
I mean, what do you want? What do you want when you get arrested? Like, you want that fucking police car have like a nice ass freaking couch and like you know, a good AC and television and stuff like that. Like, what the hell? What are you complaining about?
Well, I mean, Chille expected a 5-star hotel treatment when he went to jail, so why wouldn't they expect that?
Yeah. Yup.
They need a limo service to be arrested.
Yep.
What?
You guys should know what's up with that public photography. You guys should have gone out to them and tell them what's up. Like, Dussel did.
Forgive me. That plays by itself. Sorry about that.
No Dussel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This lady doesn't even know what
They're getting all the information right now.
You know?
You're just being detained.
That's crazy, dude.
Crazy? Is it crazy? You're the one who told her to arrest you. Since you refused to show your ID, you airless Bigfoot. I'm sorry, but this is resisting, and that's it, buddy boy.
Yeah. You were the one that told that female police officer that go ahead, arrest me. There you go. And you were ready for it and stuff like that. And now you were complaining. Yeah. It is resisting, and now you're gonna get charges for it. Oh man.
I'm flying complaints. You straight, dog. You straight. Going out with her.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you.
We don't care.
I'm sorry, got a little hostile. Where I say, you're not going to give you ID, so don't waste time. Go ahead and do what you got to do. I don't want that, dude. I don't want this. I don't want this, dude. But I didn't get you.
Forgive me for the sound. I am so sorry, and I do apologize. But yes, no one cares. No one cares about you complaining of what you think, what you want, dude. You're the one who did this. You're the one who did this to yourself.
You blatantly asked for it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Every time I record you guys, even Rago Monkey, you guys have been cool, bro.
Yeah, even Rago Monkey, right? Yeah, that idiot as well. You both you both need to be arrested for what you guys are doing. The other one, that guy, is going on public and giving a finger up the police officer, and he's walking in the middle of the street. Idiot.
You guys are South Miami. I got never no issues. I've been in the police station. I've been playing for. I ran into Dussel. You guys are cool as bro. Not that one over there, bro. That's crazy. I don't know if you know who the Rago Monkey is or me.
I think I seen his YouTube. That's about on YouTube.
Bro, I just come over here to get a step. People wanted me to record this building. It's never been hit and recorded in public. So it's a federal building, and that's all we're doing, dude.
Soon we'll be able to look back on this and laugh.
Stay asleep.
Ain't that right? Ain't that right? Oh man, I'm so bad today. You gotta give it a laugh, you know. Play.
Well, you know, I'm a great big dildo. I'm a dildo. I'm a great big dildo. Yeah.
Okay. So she went inside. She's calling postal police since this has to do with like the postal police.
That's why you guys don't have the jurisdiction.
Yeah, and I like I told her, I was like, look, I don't want to make a bad arrest because I want to be educated because
I came over here to record in public and get my stamp, and we had a meltdown. So I was live streaming too. So you guys are gonna get phone calls
here for him.
Yeah, I did.
You did?
Yeah,
You guys might get phone calls right now in the post I was live streaming on my second channel.
The only problem was the thing that's disorderly inside.
They were disorderly with me.
Well, who cares about your channel? Who cares? Is that gonna get you away from you getting arrested for what you were doing? What is his logic in here? What the heck is his logic in here? I'm not muted, right? Just in case. Okay. All right.
No, we can hear you. You're good.
All right, William Atkinson says, I bet Roy is sad that his little buddy is gone. I know, right? I know he is now. Where is that? Dang it. Roy is probably going to be like this.
No, Roy is partying that he doesn't have to deal with the insufferable whining.
Yeah, you know what though, he's gonna miss hanging out with him watching the toilet flush. Remember, he was talking about that. Chille was talking about that. That's their fun time.
Well, Chille's gonna miss that, not so much Roy.
Watching the toilet flush. That what is that, cat? Like, oh man! Oh wow!
That's the only person yelling.
Not because you weren't yelling that it was not disorderly. Refusing to respect their policy is disorderly.
Life does not stop and start at your convenience, you miserable piece of shit.
So we have to.
Yeah, exactly.
Let them know.
They all think that it does.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on, and then they tell us
they started the disturbance, dude.
By sending you stuff.
Yes, it's on the camera. Go look at the
But
camera.
apparently somebody's saying that you told her you were gonna slap her.
Oh, that's a threat. That's a threat. Oh man, I didn't see that coming. He told her that he is gonna slap her.
William, I know you would know. Correct me if I'm wrong here. Doesn't he have that on his record too?
Oh, which one? I wonder if Roy is the cause of Chille's cheap tooth.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't Joey have a DV on his record?
Yeah, I believe so. I'm sorry, but
Too many of them and too many records to keep track of anymore.
yeah. Oh man, God, Joey's surreal. Damn boy. Let me repeat that. I want to hear that again.
By sending you stuff.
Yes, it's on the camera. Go look at the
But
camera.
apparently somebody's saying that you told her you were gonna slap her.
That's crunchy. That is crispy.
Wow, are you serious?
Not the worker.
No, the Karen. I would never do that. Okay. She told me to get a life. I said, you get a life. I would never do that. I didn't threaten her.
Which is true. You need to get a life. You do. You do need to get a life. But is a frauditor gonna get a life? It's a big NO. No, they're not gonna get a life. They're not even gonna get a job. I mean, you think YouTube is a job? No, it's not.
I was setting them straight. I wasn't yelling.
The reason that bad things happen to you is because you're a dumbass.
Yes.
Day 4. No, I'm just making sure. I know it gets hot in
They said we have jurisdiction inside the law.
So they're taking me in?
Oh, William. We're gonna replay what we saw, what the animation that that we grabbed from. Well, actually, shout out to Flat Derp for this video. This video is funny as heck. I put it on our introduction at the same time. Shout out, he's very genius, and it's awesome. It's funny at the same time. Shout out to Flat Derp, by the way.
I have no idea.
If they are, bro, I want to turn off my phone.
That's their call.
Did you fix some handcuffs?
Yeah, I put 2.
And did you double lock them?
Yes.
Okay, just so you know, you're getting arrested for disorderly conduct and resisting without violence.
Resisting without violence?
Yeah.
How's that?
Oh, there you go. There you go. If you would have been shut your mouth out, you
Well,
wouldn't
he
get.
was pulling away from the officers too.
And disorderly conduct for what he did, like earlier and stuff like that. Boom! You get charges. If you don't want that charges, you can.
Stop breaking the law, asshole!
Exactly. Stop breaking the law.
Yeah, you didn't identify yourself when I asked you for an ID.
That's not resisting.
That is.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. You know statute code 901-151? You know that I didn't commit a crime.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
What do you think, Rose? You agree? It's not. That's not how it works.
It never, in their opinion, it just never works the way they think it's going to.
And
I mean,
of
they
course,
can't even read a definition correct. Why do you think they're going to get this correct?
yeah, yep. And of course, for frauditors, they're always the same. Always same reason. Always same thing.
Oh, Lord. Again. A fucking again. Nothing new, nothing changed, same old shit. Same old.
Yeah. Nothing new, nothing changed. Same shit over and over again.
Stop it. Get some help.
Yeah, exactly.
Distortion?
Yeah, it's looking good.
Yeah.
And there you go. It's always fun to see them freaking out a little bit when they get arrested.
Right. Oh man, we have fun for that one. Well, here's a replay of a Flat Derp's video for Mr. Chille de Castro. William, you're gonna love this one. Watch this.
All man and the scholars of the universe.
I am Chille, constitutional law scholar and defender of the secrets of the dungeon. Fabulous secret powers were revealed to me when I lifted my magic trifle above my head and said, by the power of YouTube, I am a dollar! And I became Lawman, the most powerful man in the universe. I defend the Constitution from the horrifically bad people who locked me up for no reason.
Of course, who locked me up for no reason at all. Even if it is like, obstruction, he's gonna say, oh, obstruction have to be physical.
Well, rates right up with their I have no record. Proceeds to look at his record, and it's a mile long.
Yeah. Yep. Anyways, here's a new update for Mr. Chille that we missed the other day. This video is from July 8th. Jail report. Well, it's add up for Chille's jail adventure, volume number 10. All right, here we go. Let's share this video. All right, here's his jail report. And of course, you guys are gonna hear that he didn't do nothing. He got arrested for no reason, right? It's like that lawman cartoons. Well, like I said, shout out to Flat Derp and Dick Bag Patrol for that video. Actually, all right, here we go.
Hello, world. Today is July 8th, 2024. My name is Chille Castro. I'm a journalist. I've been wrongfully locked up in the Clark County Detention Center for the past 4 months. I was charged with obstruction for filming a police officer in his official duties after a kangaroo court led by the dishonorable Ann Zimmerman. She convicted me and put me in jail for 6 months. I've served 4 months of those 6 months so far.
It's always Judge Zimmerman's fault, right? It's always if it is a strong woman, it's their fault.
Oh, well, you know he never ever claims to do any wrong. He'd never take personal accountability.
Yeah.
Now, on July 10th is my appeal hearing, finally, and it's in front of a new judge. Hopefully it's the Honorable Michelle Levitt, and that'll happen in Las Vegas, Nevada. So if you're anywhere in the area, please come on by. I think the court starts at 9 a.m., and if they don't let you in, get the name of the bailiff. Because as you know, if you know anything about this channel, Team DLZ, I file lots of lawsuits. And I'm telling you what I'm going to do.
Yeah, none of them pass. All of them fail. All of your lawsuit that you file, you always lose. Since when did you win? When? Funny, it's just, sadly, some people still believe on what he's saying. He's good at grifting people at the same time.
I'm going to sue the judge, I'm going to sue the prosecutor, and I've already sued the cop, but I'm going to sue them. And so if they don't let you in the courtroom at 9 a.m. on July 10th, you get the name of the bailiff, my court.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
Chille.
Room, I guarantee you I'll be the first case. So if you want to hear the hearing, it'll probably start sharp at 9 a.m. on July 10th in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I think I'll put the address on my community tab. So for Team DLZ faithful, and thank you guys for your support as I've been locked in this horrifically bad place. This is kind of a moment of let's see what happens, right? Because we've seen so far that in courtrooms around America that the judges do whatever they want. They don't follow the rule of law. They don't follow a principled standard. The judges do whatever they want. And a lot of these judges are involved with rehabilitation clinics where they own the clinics and then they send people to the other judge's rehabilitation clinic. We saw that. We've seen all kinds of things that happen in these courtrooms. We saw in Arizona where I showed video evidence that I didn't break the law, and the judge still ruled that the cop said that I did, so she convicted me of making an illegal U-turn. So let's see what happens. This is going to be interesting. Am I excited? I am excited because in the Perry Mason world, one case against another case, we filed an appeal about 7 weeks ago. Then the district attorney filed a response to that appeal, and we filed a reply to their reply. And in the Perry Mason world, or in the chess world of tit for tat, checkers, step, we have beaten them. We have clearly proven our case that Wilson versus First Judicial District of Nevada shows that we have proven our case. Now, I would be really, honestly, in my perspective, we should win this case, and I should be walking out of this jail on July 11th with the case overturned on appeal, conviction overturned on appeal.
Which is very painful that he actually win the case at this point. Wow.
Because the Wilson case clearly says that obstruction is a physical act where I stop the cop from doing his job by physically obstructing him, stopping him from being able to do it. Now, if you watch the video, I say, Go get in your car, little doggy, and write your ticket. Then the copper, Bork, he gets enraged and sends the driver away and decides he wants to arrest me for telling him to do his job. The second part of NRS 192.190 or 190.192. Anyway, the important part of it is it says that you have to have the intent to hinder, delay, or obstruct the copper from doing his job. Well, as you know, I'm a First Amendment auditor. I've filmed hundreds of cops in over 30 states in America. My job is never to hinder, delay, or obstruct.
No. You actually obstruct the police officer's investigation. You were there yelling at the police officer, and you were also distracting his police stop. Like what he's doing, like what he's doing, you need to leave it alone. And that is obstruction. What you did is actually obstruction. It doesn't mean to be physical or anything like that. I mean, obstruction is everything. Like I said, like there's a person that get arrested for obstruction, and he's resisting at the same time and all that stuff, and he still got charged for obstruction. Well, the reason why, because he's interrupting the police officer's investigation at the same time. And what he did right here, Chille, on this video, everybody watched that video. Everybody watched that video, right? He is obstructing the police officer's investigation on his traffic stop. And also he put his hand to the police officer. So yeah, another charges. And resisting arrest, because he's not following what the police officers want him to do. So yeah, dude, you deserve this thing. You deserve to be in jail. You deserve to get arrested. You deserve to get charges for this thing. And by now you should have been learned your lesson. But no, he's not going to learn his lesson. He's just going to continue what he's doing over and over and over again. And guess what? He's out now. So it's going to be more painful.
Oh, Lord. Again. A fucking again. Nothing new, nothing changed, same old shit. Same.
Yep, exactly. It's going to be the same. It's going to be the same. And Chille,
that's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
Yeah. It's this is not how it works. Oh man. And Walnut Witch, the Walnut Witch, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to Empire of Arts.
Job is to get the shot and to film the cop doing his job in his official duties. The camera being there often will save the person from a ticket because the copper doesn't want to be sit there and be.
Well, Chille, it's a traffic stop. It's a traffic stop. Okay. All right. The cops might have been fined something on that person. That's why he pulled her over. And it's because of you. He have to let her go. And you obstruct his investigation, you dumb fuck. Seriously. Chille, you're dumb.
Filmed. He doesn't want that. He doesn't want to be filmed. And so he'll often just end the stop when there's a cameraman there. And it also stops the cop from going ballistically crazy.
And I think that lady doesn't want to be on your film as well. Because you're going to dox her. You're going to end up doxing her at the same time.
And attacking the driver in their car, and we've seen that on how many hundreds of thousands of videos. So it's not like it's an anomaly. It's not like we're all in shock that there's police brutality. We've seen it time and time and time again. We have to eventually get criminal statutes for cops. Instead of calling it wrongdoing, there needs to be criminal statutes. There needs to be criminal statutes for prosecutors who wrongfully prosecute people. There needs to be criminal statutes for judges who wrongfully convict and put people in jail. We need to create criminal statutes so that the rule of law applies to everybody and everything. As you guys will see over the next couple of years, there will be a constitutional amendment to hold the president accountable if he breaks the law. No man or woman should be above the law. Look, if you're a sovereign citizen or you believe in volunteerism or anarchism, God bless you. I believe.
See? He is a sovereign citizen and all that stuff. He follows what a sovereign citizen is. He's mostly like one of those person that you can do whatever you want as long as you are a sovereign citizen. What if they unalive a person, right? and then they have their sovereign citizen paper and stuff like that. Do you think that should work? I mean, none of this is gonna work. Everything. If you break the law, you break the law. You're supposed to get arrested. Like I said, like, man, you deserve the consequences for your action, for what you did. This guy is such a stupid. And guess what? He wants to run for what? Like governor? And he said if he becomes a governor, he will change the whole law. Like, dude, that's not how it works. That's none of this. Uh that's not how it works.
Believe in the rule of law. The exact same law written in Jean-Jacques Rousseau's social contract. Now, unfortunately for you and for me, whether you're an anarchist or a volunteerist, we are not living under rule of law. We're living under tyrannical police state, prison state, death state. I've looked back now over the past 160 days as I've been locked in this dungeon, and now I'm 48 hours away from the appeal. Finally, we get to see if there's actually going to be justice in America. And this is what the Honorable Michelle Levitt has to take a look at. The Nevada State Supreme Court just ruled on this just now. It was in February 8th of 2024. The Nevada State Supreme Court said that in the Wilson case, that the district court where Michelle Levitt is currently right now in Las Vegas, the same place will be having that hearing on July 10th. The Nevada State Supreme Court said the district court didn't have the benefit of our view, of our opinion, that obstruction is a physical act, that the person has to physically obstruct the copper from doing his job to charge a citizen with obstruction, or the citizen has to willingly hinder, delay, or obstruct. So now, if Michelle Levitt rules against me, because I don't know Michelle Levitt, she may be the most honorable, upstanding, good judge, one of the few in America, and you know what? Let's give her the benefit of the doubt and let's say that she is. But if she rules against me and it goes up to the Nevada State Supreme Court, the 7 judges on the Nevada State Supreme Court are going to look at it and say, didn't we just do Wilson in February of 2024? Didn't we just say that obstruction is a physical act? They even give an example. If you were to go and block the path.
Chille, obstruction is not just physical act. It's everything. If you are interrupting the police officer's investigation, and again, I'm going to say this again, over and over and over again, even everybody will agree with me, obstruction could be anything. Okay, if you are distracting the police officer's investigation, it's considered as obstruction. You are obstructing the police officer's investigation. In that case, you can get arrested for it, because dude, this is like, oh man, this is all of their excuses all the time. Like, they think they were right about this thing. They think they were right about obstruction of justice. Jesus, Chille, please understand the law, please. I don't think you do. You will never understand the law. You were just happy to invent your words. Plus, when you invent your words to earn money for what you were saying, a grifter, a scammer. That's all you do all the time. And it's going to be worse now because, oh man, he is out. He's out.
Path of the copper than your obstruction. But I didn't do that. I literally told him, go get in your car, little doggy, and write your ticket. You Neanderthal? That's just straight up. That's what I told him to do. Now, I can use words that are both provocative and challenging. And this comes straight from the 1987 case of Houston versus Hill. Where is that case?
But your words were not the problem. The problem is you kept getting closer and closer and closer.
Yeah. Well, I'd say it like earlier. I mean, I'd say it earlier that in the video. You guys actually can see what he did. It's obviously obstruction. It's obstruction. Whatever, how many times you flip that out, it's still obstruction. You can still get arrested for what you were doing because it's none of your business of what the traffic stop is. I mean, look at what happened to press with Ranker. Look at what happened to that guy. He is obstructing the police officer's investigation while the person is getting, while the person is having a conversation with the police officers at the same time. And even that passenger and the driver said, please do not put me on that camera. I don't want to be part of that camera. Because why? Because they love to dox people. That's all that it is. That's the reason why they were filming people. They wanted to put it in their freaking YouTube channel and expose them at the same time.
On your cop card, the most ironic part about going to court on July 10th for this appeal is that the cases the district attorney submitted, they're the cases on my trifolds and cop cards that uphold my right to film cops. And my attorney, Chris Orm, pointed out, comically, it is the state who's creating their own arbitrary, capricious ideals of what obstruction is. So, this is going to be interesting. We're going to really see if there's justice. And, let's play it out. If the Honorable Michelle Levitt rules against me, then we go to the Nevada State Supreme Court next. Because I've hired this attorney, Chris Orm, all the way until the case is appealed. And he's already set up for the Nevada State Supreme Court. So if Michelle Levitt rules against me on Friday, then it goes to the Nevada State Supreme Court. For the second time, the Nevada State Supreme Court, we heard the same thing about obstruction in the same year. In my mind, if justice is real and we're going by stare decisis means the case that we're heard before it that set the precedent. I should be walking out of this dungeon on July 11th, 2024, because it takes the jail 24 hours to process you out. After people come back here and they're released on their own recognizance or they get bail, it takes at least 12 to 24 hours, sometimes longer, before they get out of this dungeon. So, I guess what I would say is, for the guards who have come in this room where I've been put by men with guns and tasers and sticks and forced to stay in here, for the men and women who have come in this room and been jail guards and have treated me decently and have been normal people who aren't power-tripping, I'll leave it as that. For those people who have come in and acted humanely and treated us like we're all human beings, I'm super grateful. And that's about half the guards in here. About half these guys have come in here and they're doing a job. It is what it is. The system is what the system is. It needs to be changed. But for those of you, and I'm not going to mention names because I'm doing a book after this, and that's all I'm going to say about that. But for those guys
Does he realize he has to get permission from the people that he names too? Probably not.
No, he's not. You know what? Worst part is he is back there. He's back there. He's gonna keep doing what he's doing.
I'm in here and done that and treated me decently. I'm super grateful. I mean, I have to say that, because there have been people who have been fair and decent and even joked with us and had a good time with us. And for all my jailhouse buddies, man, what's up, boy? I hope I'm getting out of here on July 10th. I really hope I'm getting out of here on July 10th because there's quite a few people in this dungeon, if you could imagine, who don't belong in here. Can you imagine that? Can you just try? I know that people, they think of jail and they go, oh, all those people in there are bad people. Could you imagine that there's people in here who don't belong in here, that shouldn't have been arrested, that are good people? Could you just imagine that for a moment? I'm one of them. I haven't broken the law. I've done nothing wrong. I filmed a copper, and that dishonorable, biased, unprincipled Ann Zimmerman put me in this dungeon because she could. I believe in my heart it was a Seventh Amendment violation, which I should have openly protested to a trial by a bench judge or magistrate without a jury. I should have openly protested. And when I get out of here, I'm going to see if I can sue on the grounds of my Seventh Amendment being violated where I didn't get a jury trial. Because if you could put me in jail, then I need a jury. I need a jury. Because the jury would have said, hold on a minute, let us see the video, because it shows that he stepped back when the officer asked him to step back. That's what it will show.
Well, so what? You're going to sue Judge Zimmerman, right? Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. You think you're going to win? You think you're going to win that case if you sue her? I don't think so, buddy. I don't think so.
And then the DA, unprincipled, she watched the video. She knows I stepped back. The video and still shots of the video show that I stepped back. So, you know, I gotta step back from the fire a little bit. You know, I can feel the heat, but I'm ready to get the flock out of here. Are you guys ready for me to get the flock out of here? Like, I am so ready to get out of this dungeon. I'm unhealthy right now. I've been eating nothing but trash and garbage. My blood pressure was absolutely crazy. I'm talking my blood pressure was crazy. I thought I was going to stroke out and die. And then it started to drop over this past week or so. But it was like 200 over 110 at one point. That was the highest reading I had. And then I got it down to 190, then 180, then 175, 160. And now today I'm all the way down to 141. 141 over 100. So it's getting better. But for those of you who have written me, who have put money on my books, money on my phone, sent me letters in the mail, for those of you who have supported me and continue to come back to the channel to...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's whiny. He is.
He loves that wine.
Mm-hmm. That's part of his grifting. That's part of his grifting. Like, how much now he can pocket all of the money that he earns from that freaking GoFundMe. He got $20,000, you guys. $20,000 plus the other one. The other one is another $20,000. So the total of $40,000. Then added another one, which is the total of, okay, so he got a $40,000 plus about like 47,000. Oh man, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money that he collected from all of these people, and that's gonna go to his pocket. He's going to be happy. He's partying for that thing. Holy crap. William Atkinson says, sorry guys, I missed Chille's crying. I had to go get my dog out pasture. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's all good. It's all good.
Listen to my updates and watch my videos. Don't be afraid to put on a playlist and binge watch. We need the views. We're so far down. But listen, I want to say
welcome back. Welcome
back.
Thank
you so much from the bottom of my heart. You being there has made all the difference in the world for me. I really appreciate it. All right, listen, this is going to cut me off, so I got to get the flock out of here. And hopefully on July 10th, I'm getting the flock out of here. I'll see you guys on the next one. Later, Gators.
You see that? $20,000. $20,000. That's gonna go to his pocket at the same time. Wow, holy crap. That camera is went so big. Yeah, I mean, look at that. He's gonna get $20,000. He's happy. You hear how happy he is after at the ending of that video. I mean, who would want to be happy for $20,000? Like, everybody's gonna be happy for that. $20,000. Another $20,000 for the one that he is, he got from his GoFundMe. Dude, man, he's getting that money. He's getting that money. That's poor grifting. All right, so anyways, continue on the next video that we haven't watched the other day. This one is from the next day, from Delete Loss. It's July 9th update, court for tomorrow. So this is before the court from the next day. All right. Well, we're gonna go to that. We're gonna go to that court hearing. Um, we'll see what happened. All right. So that being said, let's get into it.
Hello, world. Today is July 9th, 2024. Now, tomorrow is the appeal. Today's July 9th, tomorrow is July 10th. For Team DLZ Faithful, thank you for standing by me.
Duh.
For people who are listening to this who have never heard of my channel before or never heard from me before, I'm a First Amendment auditor. I film police in their official capacity. I film police in over 30 states, hundreds of face-to-face interactions. The only place
Who cares if you were the First Amendment auditors?
I've ever been arrested is in Las Vegas, Nevada. Well, I was arrested in Ohio, but that was for peacefully protesting. It wasn't for filming a cop. But Las Vegas, Nevada arrests journalists for filming them. So that's going to change over the next couple of years because I filed not one, not two, but I'll file 3 federal civil rights lawsuits against Clark County. So that is upcoming. But for tomorrow, we're looking at the appeals trial. I think it's called
Chille, that wasn't gonna change, and that's not how it works. No matter what you do, even though if you become a freaking government, which is you're not gonna become a government. You're not gonna become a governor of what 7 different states, constitutional law scholar, right? It's gonna become a freaking what a governor of 7 different states. Wow. Continue lying, dude. Continue lying. I wish I can play that video, but we got copyright strike for it.
Appeal trial. It's an appeal hearing. I'm not sure, but tomorrow the case should be overturned on appeal. Now, we had Ann Zimmerman in the Justice Court, if you could call it. I call Ann Zimmerman's court the Kangaroo Court. However, tomorrow is in the District Court in front of Judge Michelle Levitt. Now, we filed an appeal. They failed to reply. We filed a reply to the reply. My attorney, Chris Orem, is an appellate attorney here in Las Vegas. He is one of the top appellate attorneys in all of Nevada. I would strongly recommend Chris. He showed up here. He's visited me. He takes all my phone calls. He's done everything that you would want your attorney to do. They always take my phone calls. And how many times do you try to call your lawyer and you can't get a hold of him, or they don't take your call, or you have no communication? That has not been the case with the attorney, Chris Orem, and his staff. They always take my phone calls. Chris's assistant will sit and talk to me on the phone for 15, 30 minutes at a time. I only get 15-minute blocks on the dungeon phone here. So if you're part of Team DLZ, you guys have counted down with me all the way where we're in the hundreds, and now it is tomorrow. Tomorrow is finally the day when we get to have the appeal. Thank God. Now,
well, we all thought that he's gonna lose for this appeal because we all know. I mean, everybody sees that he's gonna fail for it.
Well, in all honesty, if the points had been brought to the appeal, like they should have been, on what he did wrong and what he was still doing from jail doing wrong, threatening the judge, making all these phone calls and saying stuff he's not supposed to be saying, he knows what he did wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
If all of that had been brought up, he would not have won this appeal. But the prosecutor kind of dropped the ball.
Yeah. And obviously, I mean, if you see that video, it was my video of that is you can watch it out. The title of the video is Chille Got Arrested. It was one of those videos that he interrupt the police officer's investigation when the police officer's doing his traffic stop. He's 10 feet away is what he said. And he is yelling at the police officer at the same time. And the police officer told him so. The police officer told him to, if you come close, you're going to get arrested for obstruction.
And again, that point is exactly where the prosecutor dropped another ball.
Yeah.
Because he should have brought up the fact that he told the officer no, he would not back up several times.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no. Actually, yeah. Actually, the police officer says you're going to get detained if you come close, right? That's the word. That's the word that he said. So yeah, he come close. He's interrupting the police officer's investigation at the
He
same
came
time,
close multiple times after being told to step back.
and he put his hand to the police officers. And you guys see that? You guys will. I mean, if you guys watch that video, he put his hand to the police officer.
And continuously tried to jerk away from the officer resisting arrest once he
Mhm.
got arrested.
Yeah, exactly. And the Walnut Witch said, "Delusional." LOL. Yes, exactly. He's a master of delusional, and surely you can say you can just play the few second clip where he says it, instead of the whole video. Yeah. Um, we all know that Chille's video is so annoying at the same time, but we have to listen to it because it's part of the entertainment. Because he's stupid. He is really stupid.
You're just stacking it up. Checkers. We have beat them. If you're stacking it up for chess, my attorney, Chris Orem, has outmaneuvered the district attorney on paper. The district attorney filed cases to try to prove time, place, and manner, which were an abysmal failure. The cases that the attorney, and I believe his name is Chen, the assistant district attorney, he filed cases that we have on the trifold and on the cop card that justify our right to film the police. Even
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
And further, there is a Nevada revised code, 171.1233. 171.1233 actually says that citizens have the right to film police. However, in this particular case, I wasn't a citizen. I was a journalist. I came up.
You're not a journalist, you are a citizen, and he never argued with the fact that you didn't have the right to record. It was your distance. It was you kept walking up on the driver. Chille, you filmed yourself doing all of this, and the prosecutor dropped the ball in calling you out on it.
Yeah, yeah, and also, yeah, you're right. He is. You are not. Um, you are not a journalist. Okay. No matter what you say, no matter how lie you say to all people, you're not a journalist. You're a dang blogger. You are a blogger, you idiot.
Mr. Bork, who's being sued in federal district court, I informed him that I was a member of the press and that I was filming the stop. I further then told him, go get in your car, little doggy, and do your job, which is exactly what he should have done. He chose to get enraged and get mad that I called him a little doggy, and he retaliated against me.
Yeah, so while you were filming him, right? Well, when he's doing his job, what are you gonna do? You are gonna yell at him while he's doing his investigation at the same time. You're continuously gonna interrupt what he's doing for his traffic stop. That's what you're gonna do, which is lead to obstruction. Again, obstruction. I mean, Jesus, man. Like, these people, these frauditors like Chille and stuff like that, they need something. They really need something. Like, oh my goodness, like, wow.
Stop it. Get some help.
Yeah. And also,
Let's put this show out of its misery.
yeah, he's show.
You know what? He's going to have some problems in federal court. I hope as well we're able to go around the judicial immunity of Ann Zimmerman and sue her personally because she was biased. During the trial,
God, what kind of a brain he have. Error. Brain error. He has a brain error that needs
Every day of his life.
the cop said that there's some imaginary 21-foot rule that he learned in the police academy. There's no ordinance code or NRS code or statute that says there's a 21-foot rule. The biased and unprincipled Ann Zimmerman, she's decided to buy the 21-foot rule, and there is where the rubber meets the road.
You serious?
She knew better. She knew there was no 21-foot rule. She knew better. She'd researched my case. She'd watched my YouTube channel. biased and unprincipled. Now, we'll see what happens in the federal civil rights lawsuit. I don't know what is going to happen. We'll see. But today is a day that I've been waiting for 4 months. We finally are at the appeal hearing
I'm
tomorrow.
sorry. You might hear this
feeling in my
correctly. I'm
chest,
just a little bit late on this because I was looking at something. But did he just say that there's no writings anywhere about the 21-foot rule? Because that is complete and total BS.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know how Chille is. Always gonna lie to people at the same
Even
time.
lawyers know this rule.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just Nevada that has it.
Yeah, that's true. Because yeah, he's a freaking liar. Anyways, William Atkinson says this Proditards. Yeah, Proditards. Yeah, exactly. Proditards actually think that telling people they're journalists, give them more rights that the regular citizen than a regular citizen. Yeah, like they gonna use the word freedom of the press, right?
Except they're not press.
Exactly, they are not press. What they do is printed out the press thing, cut it off, put it on the freaking
Wannabe press pass.
yep, wannabe press pass and stuff like that, and then they think they can do whatever they want. Like, look at that, Brooklyn audits. Look what he did. He was riding a bicycle, grab an orange, steal an orange, and then says he can do whatever the fuck he wants. Sorry about that, but yeah. That's what he said. That's what he said. Because this is his town. He can do whatever the heck he wants.
Heart and my soul. I'm nervous. I'm anxious. I'm excited. I'm happy. I'm rightfully indignant.
You don't know what
all
you
of these
are.
feelings because
Yep, of course you're going to be happy. You're gonna have you're gonna have a lot of money. You're gonna have a lot of money. You're gonna have a lot of that money on that GoFundMe is gonna go on your pocket. What do you think, Rose? That's what it is, right? That's
Oh,
all
yeah.
that money's gonna go. Yeah,
All that
that's
money for the supposed lawyer he was going to need $20,000 for. Then it was 50. Then it was 100. People can't see how he's scamming.
actually the total of $50,000 is what it is. It's $50,000 that he earned on both GoFundMe.
Well, he kept changing all of the totals. At first, it started out that it was 25. Then it was 50. Then it was 100.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then it loses some money of it, right? Because some people grab the refund and realize what he was doing, but then earn again at the same time. Wow. So that's crazy. And William Atkinson says even mainstream press doesn't have more rights than regular citizen.
No, and you don't see mainstream press out here doing this.
Yeah, exactly. Plus, they have permission. They were actually asking for permission before they do it. They actually have a call. They
They have
call the company.
permission to go in and interview. They don't have permission to stand at a traffic stop and harass people.
Exactly.
I've been locked up and it has been a hard road. I'm not going to tell you it's been easy. It hasn't. The jail system, the policies, procedures, and protocols that are put in place here some of them have to be revised. Some of them have to be redone, reconsidered. I can't go into too much detail for different reasons, but there's some policies and procedures here that need to be changed. And so the feeling I have today is one of excitement. There have been a few people along the way who have supported me and backed me up continually. For you people, I want to say thank you. Thank you. Constantly putting 30, 40 bucks on my books, 100 bucks on my phone, sending me eye care gift packages.
Oh, don't say that. Come on, stop lying. It's more than that. You get more than like $400, more than like $100 and stuff like that. You got like $50,000 on your pocket right now once you get out of there. And also Ocean View. Welcome, Ocean View. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to Empire Parts.
I'll call your names out when I get out of here and we do a live stream and I talk to everybody. But right now, I just want to focus for tomorrow and look at this finally, where we get the appeal hearing. Finally. I mean, you don't, unless you've been to jail. One of my supporters, one of my friends, really good friend of mine, we talk on the phone, and he was put in jail for an extended period of time. And just so you know, as we counted down to the hearing for the appeal tomorrow, it's not a 10-day countdown. It's 9 days and a wake up. 9 days and a wake up. So now I'm finally at a wake up. Tomorrow I wake up and we get the appeal hearing. Now here's the really strange part. If we win the appeal tomorrow, there's 3 things that could happen. She could rule from the bench and say that the case is overturned. She can deny the appeal, or she can say she'll give her answer in writing when she's ready to post it. So that means that my jail term here ends around July 24th, July 23rd, 25th, somewhere in there. I have some good time in here, I'm not sure. But right around then, 22nd to 25th. Listen, I'm prepared to start the countdown over again after tomorrow, 14 more days. So I'm ready for that. I've already held my breath. You know how you're going to swim under the water? You're going to swim from one side of the pool to the other. You don't hold your breath for the halfway point. You hold your breath for the whole way under the water. And if you don't take a big enough breath where you hold your breath to go all the way underwater, you're
Isn't that what you were doing with Roy? You hold your breath all the time. Oh, oh, oh.
Well, I'm a great big dildo. I'm a dildo. I'm a great big dildo.
going to pop up at the midway point and be really disappointed. So I'm prepared tomorrow for the judge to deny my appeal, and I'll sit in here for 14 more days. And that's the way it'll go. And I'm ready for that. However, on the flip side, if my appeal is granted, then I'm out of here within 24 hours of that appeal being granted. So let's hope and pray for the Team DLZ faithful, for those of you who have followed my journey. And listen, I'll be honest with you. Some of the things that I do and some of the ways that I speak and some of the things that I've done are going to slightly alter, because unless we get one of us into this horrifically bad despotic government structure, unless we become a mayor or a governor or a state legislator, we can't change a damn thing. There was the Yale study that showed how much.
I got news for you. If you become mayor or governor, you're still not going to change everything. It's still always going to be the same, sir. It's not going to happen. Plus, you're not going to be a governor or mayor because you have a felony charges on you. There's still charges that was coming. There's still a lot of stuff that was coming on you.
Well, we'll see. He still has that stuff up in the air because he hasn't gone to the court case for that yet.
Oh, yeah.
But it's coming.
It's coming. It's coming.
People have effect on changing government. The number one person who has the biggest effect on changing government is the person in the government. Now, we can go back to the boss tweet days.
If you're on the level, you're not going to change federal laws as a governor, Chille. Learn how this stuff works, please.
Thomas Platt days in the beginning of the 20th century, where Republican bosses and Democratic bosses ran the entire show. They ran judges, they ran the House, they ran the Senate. But we're not there anymore. Things have changed. And so when I get out, I have to change just ever so slightly. And also, this is really cool. I can't go into detail, obviously. I don't want to talk about anything until it's done. But I've created some stuff while I was in here that will allow you, the public, people to become more involved in being journalists. And obviously I'm stuck in a bed for 16 hours a day. That's not rehabilitation. That's just making someone rightfully indignant. That's making people angry. You lay in a bed for 16 hours a day. So I took advantage of that time. And there were some
about
certain
what you
individuals.
did wrong, Chille. And unfortunately, we all have to suffer with the fact that we all know you will never admit when you're wrong.
Exactly.
Who sent me a bunch of books. If you guys sent me a book or an eye care gift package, your name didn't come on it. They don't tell me who sent it. So if you sent me a book or you sent me an iCare gift package, thank you. But there was a couple individuals who sent me books on the Constitution, on the Bill of Rights, on the Supreme Court justices, on the presidents, on the history of so many different things. And I sat and I studied those things over and over and over again. And I have mapped out a way for you to understand how despotic this government is and the reason why it is as despotic as it is. Remember, senators were elected with the 17th Amendment in 1913. We need to do the exact same thing with the Supreme Court. They need to be elected. And every time they make a bad decision, the people need to have the right to impeach them. The people need to have the right to impeach them. The judge, the biased and unprincipled Ann Zimmerman, the people should have a right to impeach her when she puts a journalist in jail for months on end.
You're not a journalist. You never will be.
He's a blogger, an idiot blogger at the same time. Let's put it that way. Oh man. And William Atkinson says, "I already have a cell phone. What else could I need to do what he does?" Yeah, pretty much.
The way it should go. We need more power over the judiciary. The people do, by referendum, so we can impeach these bad judges. Because I don't wish Ann Zimmerman anything but a long, healthy life, but I want her to have to pay out of her own pocketbook, and I want her to I want us, the people, to be able to fire her from the bench. That's what I want to happen.
Got news for you, Chille. It's never gonna happen. It's never going to happen. Who cares who you are? Who cares what you are? Who cares? Who cares? And of course,
how selfish of me. Let's do all the things that you want to do.
yes, exactly.
And unfortunately, when I get out of here, I'm going to go straight at it. I'm going to go straight at it through the legal system and through media. I'm going to take on the power structure that is and try to change it through legislation, through federal civil rights lawsuits, and through the media. And that's what I'm going to do. And I'm not going to stop. You can say it with me. We don't stop. Put it in the comment section. We don't stop. Put it again. Someone puts it, you match it. We don't stop. Put it again.
Of course.
Oh, Lord. Again. Again. Nothing new, nothing changed, same old shit. Same old fuck.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same thing over and over and over again. Of course, Chille's not gonna stop. He is not gonna stop. He will never stop, and it's gonna get worse because he's out of there. He is out of there. Oh man. And Abby Pollin says, "Oh, sorry about that. That's a sound that sounds so annoying. It was my computer. Sorry." Okay, Abby Pollin says Judge Levitt was based. Yeah. You did stop for 144 days, Chille. Now he's back at it again.
Oh, and it's gonna be worse.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's going to be worse.
Again, we don't stop. I go to court tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., district court. If you can make it, I would love for you guys to come. I would appreciate it. If you can't, that's okay too. Big shout out to all my friends, to all my supporters. I really appreciate you guys. You know, we were in the hundreds, and now we're down to one. Tomorrow's the appeal. Thanks for your support. I'll see you guys on the next one. Later, Gators.
You still got a pending case.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So we're done with that. So at least we were, up to, our base on the whole stuff, the whole shebang that was happening with Mr. Chille de Castro. We are going to watch his court case. All right. It's going to be fun. that's happening on this court case. Right here. This is his appeal. Anyways, so that being said, let's watch this video.
Initially, I thought that the arrest should have never occurred. I think that he was not obstructing.
Hang on. I'm so sorry. Shout out to our Nevada judge, that channel at the same time, by the way, before I play the video. All right, here it is.
And I think it will be interesting to see what Judge Levitt does with it on appeal. I think that he has created some interesting issues with his courtroom antics and post-conviction behavior, but his behavior on the day, at the time, the filming at the traffic stop, I don't think it rises to the level of obstruction.
What's an officer to do, though, when they've got somebody who is in their face and confrontational? And we can agree, Mr. DeCastro seemed to be somewhat confrontational, right? Go back and do your job, little doggy.
Sure.
Those kind of comments.
But if
Yeah. I mean, would you be okay for the person that would tell that to you? Go back to your position, little doggy. Is that a right thing to say to the person?
Certainly wasn't nice.
Yeah, exactly.
And even though that's what he had said, that's not what he was put in jail for.
Exactly. And Abby Pollen says, Alex from our Nevada judge said there was 2 Chille supporters in the gallery. Lady attorney, Chille in a court is like that every day. Just watch any of his old lives. Yeah, we're about to find out.
But first I want to address the comment in your face. Is 10 feet really in your face? He was
less than 10 feet.
Yeah.
And you saw that when he walked up to the woman in the car.
This woman is obviously Chille supporter at the same time, right?
No, I just think she's ignorant to Chille.
The record indicates that
she just doesn't know him like we all know him. Maybe didn't watch the full video.
Exactly. And she needs, you know what other thing that she needs to watch, though? The interview between him with Tim Skeptic. A lot of shit that he said in there is really.
She just needed to watch him walking into the last court hearing.
Mm-hmm.
That he was 10 feet away. Is that in your face?
It's a good question. How close is too close?
So first of all, I want to say that, my views are just mine. I do teach a lot of agencies here, and this issue is still being litigated, and one of my clients is involved in this case. But I will say this, is that this is a tough situation. I mean, these police officers are tasked with a very tough job, and, officer safety is a legitimate safety concern, but we also don't want to, hyperbole, right? We don't want to think that everybody is out there to kill us. That's not a good mindset either. That's actually a very unhealthy mindset. How close is too much? I will say at the end of the day, what I teach my officers is that when it comes to obstruction is that you basically cannot effectively do your job. And I compare that with efficiently, right? A lot of these First Amendment auditors will do things where it causes you cannot efficiently do your job. You have to, talk a little louder. You have to, maybe, take your attention away and maybe address them for a little bit. That's not so efficient, but it's also maybe not illegal. I'm not saying we haven't really got to the brass tacks of what Jose's done in this case, but I'm just saying that's generally speaking, how close is too close? The officer, what I teach and my principles is that the officer cannot effectively do their job.
And you say First Amendment auditor. What is a First Amendment auditor? This is a newer term. I mean, I've done this job for 30 years.
Yeah.
This is the first time.
A distraction for our society. Those First Amendment auditors, they're frauditors. That's all I'm going to say.
I've heard that. Maybe I need to be more in tune with social media.
So interestingly, I, in preparation for us to have this discussion, did a quick little, search on Google to see, because there are lots of definitions for that phrase, because it is a relatively new phrase. And there are 2 prevalent internet definitions for what is being defined as a First Amendment auditor. One is exactly the behavior that Mr. DeCastro is engaging in, those that pull up.
Go ahead, William. Go ahead. What is your answer? What is your answer for that? I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
Out their phones and record police activity. And another is people who pull out their phones and record activity in any public space. So it goes that beyond that of a just police activity. But if I walk into a commercial business and I pull out my phone and start recording interactions between a patron and a customer, if the employee at that business calls the police on me, they have failed essentially that First Amendment audit, because the argument is that you should be able to record any interaction in any public space. That puts us down a completely different rabbit hole.
Wrong. Wrong. I mean, if you were in a police station and the person was a victim, if the person is an abuse victim and doesn't need to be filmed, and doesn't need to be part of your film and stuff like that, would you film that person? Man. And Abby Pollen says 1A auditors are nuisance. The public and can be more harmful. Yes, I agree. I do agree. William Atkinson said, I'm not going to use the language needed to describe this fools because it's not worth it. It really is not worth it. Right, Rose? It's not worth it.
Than from today's conversation. But I thought it was an interesting point of view because it kind of ties into, I think, Mr. DeCastro's point of view and where he was at when he was recording the police interaction in the traffic stop.
So is the position of these folks that in public spaces there is no privacy?
Essentially, yes.
Generally.
That's the idea, and particularly with officers. Of course, officers have body cam now too.
So they're recording themselves. But I would also say, just before we go on to that, because I think that there are actually two types of First Amendment auditors. There's the first 1A auditor who want to be cool about it, you know. The first 1A auditor is those who just want to record. They just want to see police officers. They're actually hoping for a good outcome. They're hoping that the Constitution is complied with. And then there's the other First Amendment auditor who's like DeCastro, who is really after three things: money, badges, and fame. They don't want to just watch cops succeed. They want to watch cops fail. And the way he acts, what he says, the words he uses, you know, go back to your job, little doggy, whatever, you know. Right. I mean, he says all kinds of things. He does not want to see cops succeed. He's actually makes it very clear that he is very anti-police. And I just want to be clear that that's something to consider. But generally speaking, it's not illegal to record police officers in a public place doing a public act.
Or to be anti-police.
Or not to be anti-police. Absolutely. He absolutely has the right to be anti-police. Absolutely. And he has the right to say that during his presence.
But in this situation,
Don't you agree for what he said? Like, that's, oh man. You know what? Let's continue the video.
No question, he's antagonistic.
Correct.
Right? He doesn't want to back down. He's at another arrest where he was also antagonistic.
Right.
Told an officer, "Shut your mouth. I'm an important guy.
Right.
I'm on YouTube, and you're going to look like a fool. Just shut your mouth and mind your own business. If you know what's good for you."
Right.
I mean, he is clearly antagonistic.
And he's good. He's very good at it, by the way. If you watch his videos, he's highly effective. He's sharp when it comes to his antagonism.
Yeah. And William Atkinson says they say no privacy in public until the table turn, and then they pout and cry like children. Exactly. And also like filming in public, like what this Frauditors was doing. What about schools? What about filming schools? Filming children's in schools? Isn't that appropriate? Isn't that a good thing to do? Is that a good thing to do? And putting it on your YouTube to dox the children at the same time? Is that a good thing to do?
We're filming hospitals.
Yeah, or filming hospitals.
We've seen several of them zoom into children just filming at the post office.
Yeah, and these fools are just like A-OK for what these frauditors are doing. Wow, I'm shocked at this. Oh man, Crazy, right? Insane.
Antagonism.
And this
Being
is why we're going to get to lose our rights of filming in public.
Mm-hmm.
antagonistic doesn't always rise to the level of being a crime. I mean, in this case, I realize that that argument sounds ridiculous because he was arrested and now sentenced for obstruction. But had he been 20 feet back, would we be having this conversation?
I think the key though is it's not that he's committing a crime by being antagonistic. I think it's that you have an officer who is allowed to consider his antagonism. He's allowed to consider that this person clearly does not either see me as a legitimate authority or whatever, and he's allowed to consider that part of his officer safety issue.
Understood, but in this instance, part of this is whether or not you're stopping an officer from doing his job, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's part of the
I think so.
part of the fundamental definition I would think of obstructing. And in this instance, before DeCastro is ordered to go to the police car, he lets the motorist go.
Right.
His job is done at that point. And the resisting's about the walking to the police car, which DeCastro's doing. He's disgruntled about it, but he is doing it. I'm a little, it seems like we're having it both ways to some extent, if that makes sense.
The only thing I will say about this, and I love your point of view on this, is that at the end of the day, if we believe that a crime has already occurred, that he's already obstructed, which we can debate about that, then he's allowed to now have discretion. So you know what? I have a bigger fish. You're my small fish. You're just committing a very minor traffic violation. In fact, it was like registration issue. You're out of here. Now I'm going to deal with him.
Oh my goodness. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I am so shocked at this video at the same time. Wow. Holy crap. And William Atkinson says, we know they are not fighting for rights. They are fighting for their wallets. That's true. That's true. All that it is just their, the stuff for their pockets, the portion for their pockets and stuff like that. That's all that it is. Grifting people, telling people lies so they can earn money for it. That's exactly what it is. Scamming people at the same time. And Chille's gonna get a lot of money for this. $50,000. $50,000, guys. $50,000.
Sure, but what would the normal everyday obstructing, would it always result in an arrest?
No.
It's discretionary, right? So many years ago, I had a case that was kind of similar to this, where it was a traffic stop and it was a sovereign citizen case, which again, another rabbit hole, but officer asked my client for a driver's license. He didn't have it because he had a constitutional driver's license, and it led to an obstruction and a resisting charge because my client couldn't produce a driver's license. And so ultimately, as my client was shuffling through these papers trying to find his constitutional driver's license, the officer felt like he wasn't complying with the command fast enough and ultimately pulled my client out of the car, which led to the obstructing and the resisting charge.
Because they don't have a driver's license. Even if they do have a driver's license, it's suspended. It's suspended driver's license, and they weren't allowed to drive their motor vehicle. That's why they got pulled. That's why they can't prove their freaking license. I mean, driver's license is very important for all the people that drives out there. The reason why is because you learn the traffic stop, you learn the traffic laws. So you know everything when you were driving. You know how to follow the speed limits. You know how to go to the pedestrian or anything like that. It's more safety for everybody. Driving without a driver's license is not safe, especially the suspended driver's license. Those people got arrested or got pulled over because they did something wrong. It's either speeding or not following the stop sign or being drunk while driving and all that stuff. That's the reason why they don't have their driver's license. All right. Okay. And what they were doing right now is following what sovereign citizen stuff. So they think they're gonna get away with it. And while they have those papers, What are they gonna do? They're gonna freaking like not follow the traffic stops, or not gonna follow the traffic laws and stuff like that. And then they're gonna hurt somebody. They basically gonna hurt somebody for driving without driver's license or suspend the driver's license, which is dangerous to our society. And defending these people, you think that was right? Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you. Really, shame on you. This is wrong. This is definitely wrong. It's not hard to take a driver's license. I know I have several fail for like taking the test, but I understand what it is. And it's important to understand what it is. It's very important. It's for everybody's safety. Don't you guys agree? Put a one in the chat if it's true. If it's true that everybody needs a driver's license and everybody needs to learn what a traffic law is. Put a 2 if I'm wrong. I mean, come on. It's obvious. It's obvious. Jeez. Wow, dude. Wow. Just man. This is ridiculous. This lawyer is ridiculous. William Atkinson says, "I'll bet she's got a driver's license one." She does. She probably have, but protecting sovereign citizen is not a good idea. It's really not a good idea.
So in my mind, I don't think there's much of a difference between my client attempting to produce his constitutional driver's license and what Mr. DeCastro was doing in this case. He was standing 10 feet away, yelling obscenities at an officer. By the time he got to the point where he was walking to the car, we have compliance.
Right. So, I mean, it is a very interesting question as to where the ability to film First Amendment rights run against officer safety, officers' ability to do their job. I mean, a cynic here would say DeCastro got arrested for being a jerk, not DeCastro got arrested for anything he physically did. Because there's a real question whether there was any physical obstructing in this particular
There's a legitimate
instance.
question. I think that's something that should be viewed on appeal, right? I think that's not something that actually really got into at the trial level.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, that's probably a missing ingredient for me, at least. I would like to know that because I would like to talk to you about the Wilson case that's come out recently that may help define whether or not DeCastro is violating the law and so forth, obstruction.
Yeah, and tell us about Wilson.
So real quick, so Wilson, I wish I knew if it came out. I think it actually came out before DeCastro's trial, and I'm almost positive of that, but I can't quote it. But basically, what happened is Wilson is a lady in Carson City. She is observing a police interaction with a suicidal juvenile, and I'm sure it's very tense. According to the case, the kid had a knife to his body. I'm probably thinking throat, right? And he's suicidal. So Carson City SO Sheriff's Office is trying to get him in custody for what they like a civil commitment because he has to go get checked out. And throughout the whole time, Wilson, for whatever reason, is yelling at these police officers. I don't know if she maybe disagrees with their tactics, something about it she doesn't like, but she's targeting the officers. They tell her multiple times to, hey, police, stop yelling at us. We're trying to focus on this poor kid. You're obstructing us. She will not stop her behavior. And at the end of the day, they did get the kid in civil, in custody, civil commitment. They then went to her and said, Wilson, you're going to get a ticket, right? You're going to get arrested or not arrested, cited for obstruction. And she goes to trial. She loses. And it goes because, she is taking away the officer's focus, right? The officers, in a sense, cannot do their job efficiently when they have somebody like Wilson yelling. We all agree on that. So it goes to the Nevada Court of Appeals and they say, hey, timeout. That's not really what obstruction is. Just because you have a person engaged in the First Amendment, what was her intent? If you look at the NRS, what was her intent?
You know what? Like watching this is just very, very painful than Chille DeCastro. Honestly, like this too. It's ridiculous. We're gonna cut off on that one, and we're gonna watch. I thought that would be Chile's what you call this court case and stuff like that, but we're gonna hop off to the video where Chile is in a court hearing at this on July 10th, 2024. All right, so here's the video. From shout out for our Nevada judges uh, channel at the same time. All right, so here we go. Here's Mr. Chile de Castro's case on Nevada. Where is it? It's not there. Okay. All right, here we go. It's just very painful to watch that video. It's just like they were just protecting First Amendment auditors and stuff like that. They were defending their frauditors and stuff like that. It's just
No, they were defending First Amendment auditors. I don't think they were talking about frauditors, or they just didn't know about the crazy stuff they do, maybe. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, but it was painful.
It is. It is really. Anyways, here we go. Let's watch the video.
Mr. Castro's supposed to know that he has to back up further. DeCastro? Do we have everyone we need on DeCastro?
Yes, sir.
Is this Mr. DeCastro?
It is in custody.
Okay, he is present, he's in custody, and the attorneys can state their appearances.
You are Christopher Orm on behalf of Mr. Castro. Did you want him to sit down? No, you can stand there.
But you can sit down if you want, you don't have to stand up throughout the whole hearing.
Sit
It's up to you. Might be a minute.
I'll leave later, Jen. I'll be happy to stay for that.
Mr. Orm, I'm assuming.
May I proceed, Your Honor?
Absolutely.
It seems that everybody agrees you have a right to film police officers. I'm not sure. I filed a lot of federal case laws suggesting you can film police officers, but the state doesn't seem to dispute that. In this case, you have a person who, for a living, this man for a living, that's his living. He films police officers. He has more than 500,000 subscribers. He is very, very famous as a First Amendment auditor. He's known as he testified around the United States and does this constantly. As I look at this case, there are multiple problems with it. It goes to trial. So let's start with what really happens. There's a letter written to the judge, and I cite to it, and you have a copy in the appendix. And the letter says this man's going to film the proceedings. So before the trial starts, the judge says, empty your pockets, suit pockets, all sorts of pockets, empty them. He says why. He complains it's a Fourth Amendment violation. You don't have a right to take my phone. And the judge also demands that defense counsel turn your phone off. And she said, I don't want to be part of your YouTube channel. And he said, we already are. This is the starting point to this trial. And the state says, well, the court has a right to, keep the court secure. Absolutely, you do. Absolutely. Have a right to determine who's filming. Absolutely.
It's like sitting right there and like, wow.
But what was interesting in the state's argument is they forgot to mention that the court never looked at the prosecutor and said, hey, turn your phone off. Make sure your phone's off. It's all directed at him and his attorney. You can't take cell phones. You can't do that. It's structural error to do that. And it also kind of shows that the court had an animus towards Mr. Castro, then judge. He makes a statement to the marshal. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. It's clearly unacceptable. The judge was agitated by it, understandably so. As I look at that, I'm like, I come in these courts all the time. You don't get to call a marshal what he gave. So I understand. That's a different matter.
Don't get to come into court being so rude and obnoxious either. There are people that have went to jail for saying less.
Yep.
The marshal a name, which you shouldn't have called. Maybe you could hold contempt proceedings for that. There are remedies that a court like yourself can do if somebody's being disruptive. Just because somebody's disruptive in a murder, calls your court staff a name, it's inappropriate. I would realize with a client, oh boy, this is not looking good. But that doesn't mean you're going to find or suggest that the person committed murder simply because he's acting or she's acting in a fashion in a courtroom that shouldn't have happened. But it was clear then that the trial was going the wrong way. So when we look at the facts of the case, that the police officer testifies that this auditor approaches, says that he's a member of the press, identifies him immediately as a member of the press.
He's not. No, he's not a member of the press. He's not even the press. He's, like I said, he's just a blogger. And he... man, headache. A headache.
A video here. I also have exhibits. And that he wouldn't back up. Now at trial, that was commented on by the officer a couple of times. He wouldn't back up. He wouldn't back up. The prosecutor argued it. Then they started on the 21-foot rule. It's an imaginary rule. We all know there's no such thing as a 21-foot rule. It doesn't exist. But nobody was stopping that. Not defense counsel was saying, where is this coming from? What rule are you coming to with this? And the prosecutors argued, well, he's violating the 21-foot rule. There's no such thing as a 21-foot rule. And the state, to their credit, has abandoned and completely retreated from the 21-foot rule on this appeal. They don't argue. Yes. But I understand what it is, Judge, because I've used it myself in murder cases, and that is what they're taught and what I've argued that my clients are enduring is that if a man, an assailant, comes at an officer or a citizen, within 21 feet, you won't be able to draw your weapon. That's what they're taught. So it's something that
21 feet. He said 10 feet. Now this lawyer was saying he was in 21 feet. Are you serious? Yeah, continuously lying. Continuously lying.
we use in a self-defense case. Oh, look, the guy was, coming, and so my guy had a choice but to shoot. I understand that's what police officers are taught, but that's got no bearing on this. There is no 21-foot rule, and in fact, we just go to Click. Click is a First Circuit case, both the state and myself rely upon. And in Click, I thought the language was so important to this case, because in Click, they begin speaking about that officers, in that case, person's filming on the Boston Common, filming from 10 feet away, 10 feet away. That's very relevant, because the police officer in that case said, Mr. DeCastro was 10 feet away. And so the First Circuit said, that is 10 feet away. And then the First Circuit starts saying, police officers need to deal with provocative and challenging speech. They further identify that when a police officer comes in contact with somebody who's being rude or obnoxious, that they feel like they shouldn't be filmed, that they shouldn't have to endure that. And the First Circuit then goes on to talk about that officers sometimes retaliate because they don't like it. They don't like it. And they said that's what happened in Click. The officers didn't like it. You don't film us. You have no right to film us. Okay? And so when I look at the situation, I'm like, officers, we have a right to film officers. In fact,
which is the judge needs to watch the whole thing. The whole thing. And not only that, the judge needs to watch all of the things that Chille does at the same time. She needs to study what Chille is doing.
We have an actual statute on it. NRS 171.1233. This is cited in page 2 of my reply brief in footnote 1. Subsection 2, subsection A states, a peace officer shall not act to interfere with a person's reporting of law enforcement activity, including, without limitation, by A, intentionally preventing or attempting to prevent a person from recording the law enforcement activity. You have a right to do it. We know it by statute, we know it by federal law. So what does Mr. DeCastro do? When the officer tells him, back up, I can prove he does. I've attached the exhibits. If the state wants me to, I'll put it up and I'll show it, but we can see from Exhibit A that where Mr. DeCastro is standing, he's standing in a particular parking space. we can see in Exhibit B, he has now moved back into the back parking space. I don't, when I say back parking space, I know that maybe not a good record, but he's moving away.
Right, looks like it's in a parking lot.
Yes, it's a parking lot. He's moving from one parking space away. You can see it's away from the officer. So the state, to continuously argue he would not back up. Why are they doing that? Because they want to say he won't follow the commands. And the accurate answer was, and I think the court would say, if you were asked to look at this case and say, what did Mr. DeCastro do when he was told to back up? He backed up a short distance. That would be fair. Maybe the court would not like that language, say maybe it's a few feet. But he did back up. What is not fair is he would not back up. He would not comply. He did not back up. And then the officer was asked, did you tell him how far? No, because he was just...
Daisy Klein, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for subscribing to our channel. And welcome to Empire of Arts.
Disrupted. So I couldn't tell him how far. The 21-foot rule. There is no 21-foot rule. Click said 10 feet was fine. And in Click, what's more interesting about it is the officers, what Click is deciding is not like this court deciding whether there's criminal activity. Click is suing the officers. And the officers are over in federal court saying, oh no, give us qualified immunity. And the federal court saying, no, not for this. You're not getting, for arresting somebody who's filming, you're going to get sued. You're not getting qualified immunity. You're going to have to fight this and go to...
I got news for you. He's not just filming the police officer. There's a lot of things that was going on in that video.
Oh, sure.
It was way more than just filming.
Yeah, yeah.
Very relevant because that's what's going to happen with this officer. Undoubtedly, you know he's going to sue, and I think he's already started that process. I'm not a civil lawyer, so don't do that. But I know that that is what's taking place. So what is hindering this man from obstructing him from writing his ticket? He can just simply write the ticket. He can look at Mr. DeCastro and think to myself, here's one of these auditors, walk over and write a ticket. He was asked the question, which I thought was really good at trial. He was asked, how did he obstruct you? How were you obstructed? And he said, well, I didn't know what his intentions were. I didn't know. Maybe he was armed.
How was he obstructing? He kept coming closer and closer to the traffic stop. He told the cop blatantly no, he would not move back several times. That's also obstruction.
Yeah, and he was yelling at the police officer. And he's interrupting the police officer's investigation. That is obstruction. That is obstruction. Obviously, it's obstruction.
Obstruct you? How does that obstruct you? That doesn't, he never gets in the way. So let's fast forward to Wilson.
Let me guess what you're going to say is obstruction is a physical act. Oh, man. Why? Just brain dead. Brain dead. Yeah.
Okay. 3 weeks before this trial, the Court of Appeals considers one of my arguments here that the statute is unconstitutional, vague, and ambiguous. The Wilson court determines that the only way that you impede is that you have fighting words or you physically do it. And the exact language of it is, we interpret 197.190 as applying only to physical conduct and fighting words. The court further explained that blocking the path of an officer may amount to obstruction. Well, we know that didn't happen. You can look at the video. There's no blocking. There's no blocking that goes on. And they also say that it could be non-aggressive, which made me curious. So I went and read the case. I thought, why could non-aggressive be? And it makes perfect sense. I would have never seen how non-aggressive could be obstruction. But what they then cite is they were pulling over an individual, police were, and then the guy who I guess is armed then starts to run from police. Well, now they've got to go chase him. So clearly they're hindering the police. So that made perfect sense, and that's the case they cited. What is interesting about Wilson is they also go on to say, as construed by this court, NRS 197.190 prohibits only physical conduct and fighting words that hinder, delay, or obstruct a public officer in the discharge of official duties or powers. As such, law enforcement has no discretion to arrest persons for protected speech or for physical conduct that is merely annoying and offensive. Judge, I have no doubt I know you've watched this video, and I could see how anybody could look at this and hear the speech, get in your car, little doggy, and write your ticket, and find that to be annoying. I see that. But that's protected, and we've been told that's protected now by our courts in Nevada, by numerous federal courts. They went on to say the district court did not, so in Wilson was convicted, appealed, just like I'm doing here. And they point out in Wilson that on appeal,
This is just painful.
It is. It really is. Right now, it's just giving me a headache.
this court explained the district court did not have the benefit of our interpretation of 197, 190 as being limited to physical conduct or fighting words, and therefore did not consider whether there was sufficient evidence that Wilson engaged in physical conduct or other fighting words so as to support her conviction, and the case was remanded. Why I think that's important is because one of the sort of the big picture that I want the court to see that I'm arguing, I think Judge Zimmerman was put in an absolutely terrible situation.
No, she did the right thing. Judge Zimmerman did the right thing. She put him in place, is what it is. Because, he deserved to be in jail. Chille deserved to be in jail.
He went in completely disrespectful like a raging bull and got the consequences from that.
Yeah, exactly. Plus, he was in court and keep calling the police officer a pig. Really? Are you serious? Are you serious? Is that going to be okay?
Look at all this litigation we're doing here. This isn't new. I didn't come up with, oh, look, there's a new case that came out about a First Amendment issue. A lot of the cases I'm citing are, 20 years old, 15 years old. This is known law. If we have this issue before you on a case, isn't it incumbent upon me to file this pretrial?
I wonder why that didn't occur in this case.
And the state says something interesting, which I understand the state's advocating. The state says that trial counsel filed a memorandum. Well, I'm like, it was comical. I understand what the state's doing. They're saying they need to try to protect their conviction. But the trial counsel, what he did is he filed some memo that right when the judge is making her decision, finding him guilty, she's like, what memo? And I filed them. She didn't read. And then the state correctly, the state said, strike it. It's late. So what trial counsel does is, at the last minute, can you imagine I'm coming in here talking about the facts and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, Judge, there's a First Amendment issue. Like, well, don't you think you should have briefed that and let me know? And I hear the state's argument, and the state says courts are presumed to know law. And I know you know law, but I also know, Judge, that we get into issues. You've been on the bench a long time, so I know you know the law. But let's say we're going to talk about a Miranda or Messiah issue, I think that it's incumbent upon us to give the material to the court, let the state oppose it, let us reply so the court can look at everything, have the court's clerk go maybe find research that interests you on this so that you can make an informed decision, as opposed to at the very last minute in a factual trial, like, oh, by the way, there was a Messiah issue. I don't understand why he did that. This was the issue. This should have happened beforehand. This should have been litigated beforehand. The court, like yourself, just like we're doing here, we should give you the opportunity to go look at it. And maybe my rendition of it is not the way you want to go. It's the state's rendition. But the fact
I'm sorry, but I'm going to skip that part. Give me a second.
And that's in effect.
All right.
Matter. So this court's going to make a matter of law decision.
Decisions I cited said this is the difference between us and a free society, where we can go up and be obnoxious. Please, hey, I see what you're doing. I remember from the time I was in law school, I cite the case, but I don't wonder if you remember. Mr. Chen remembers it, where somebody comes up to an officer and calls him up, which I think is really, I remember as a law school, you shouldn't do that. That's bad. Right? But the reality is, I then learned from the Supreme Court, it may be bad, it may be obnoxious. If it's your child, you'd be like, what did you?
I just have to skip it because, all of what he was saying is all lie, and protecting Chille at the same time. Yes, of course, it's Chille's lawyer. It's what they do.
But it's protected. It's protected, Judge, and he didn't do anything to violate or have those protections taken from him. I'd ask that you grant.
Mr. Chen.
Thank you, Your Honor. First, I'd like to thank Mr. Oram. Considering that our response was called comical, I appreciate the nice words from him today. Regarding first and foremost with the ineffective assistance of counsel claim, even if counsel could have done it, we're still focusing on the prejudice problem. Ultimately, we're here, and this is the appellate court for this matter, so this court's going to make a matter of law decision. So I think ultimately everything regarding that issue gets resolved on a prejudice problem, whether or not Judge Zimmerman was surprised at the information that he wishes to put forth today. Now, with regard specifically to the First Amendment claim, Mr. Oram mentions that we cite to a number of cases, and the cases factually don't support our position, and I think we recognize that in our brief. There are cases where police officers have stopped individuals from filming encounters that they absolutely had a lawful right to do. This is why the court consistently talks about time, place, and manner restrictions. We don't
Again,
doubt that
it's not going to help him whatsoever. He really dropped the ball here.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
that's the case. But to suggest that we didn't read those cases, I think is an unfair characterization, because what we're trying to focus on is whether the time, place, and manner restrictions were present.
And you should have been focusing on him breaking the 21-foot rule, which, yes, there is that. Even lawyers know about it. Why didn't you?
See, the thing is, he's not even in 20-foot rule. He is in 10 foot. 10 feet away from the police
He
officer.
was less than that when he approached the woman in the car.
Exactly.
This case. Now, what I would argue, and what I think we argued in our brief,
He wasn't supposed to be in that police traffic stop anyways.
is cases like Glick are relevant to the extent that in that case, the individual clearly was not impeding, obstructing, or being a problem to police officers. The only thing that individual in Glick was doing was filming officers, and the officers were upset by it. That's a very different situation when we're talking about time, place, and manner in this case. Yes, it's in a public parking lot, but you have to realize that as the facts came out, that the officer was letting the individual film until he approached the driver. Now, I agree, privacy is not a thing necessarily in public, which is why we didn't argue it. However, there are other concerns for time, place, and manner regarding safety of everybody involved, including the fact that when the officer is writing a ticket, when the officer is communicating with this lady who's been pulled over, when that lady is sitting in her car and not free to move because she's subject of a traffic stop, that the scene needs to be secure. Now, I appreciate that the individual, Mr. Castro, could have plenty of followers, and he might have followers. I didn't know of him before this date, and it doesn't appear that the officer did either. So ultimately, the officer is treating this individual as someone who's filming, but doesn't know what the ultimate motivations are. It could be to film, it could be to do something else, it could be to interfere with the driver, and I think that's what the evidence shows in this particular case. Not only did he approach the driver, the key part where the obstruction begins to occur is when the officer asks him to back away from the driver. He says, well, I'm a filmer. Great, you can film, but I need you to back up. And again, we're quibbling over how much the backup was, but I think
Clearly backed up.
he backed up a couple of feet. There's no question about that. But I think what the officer testified to was he wanted it a further distance based upon, in large part, how Mr. Castro was operating. Now, if Mr. Castro had backed up a number of feet and continued recording and wasn't saying and doing the things that he was doing, I think we'd have a very different situation. But the problem is
Mr. Castro's supposed to know that he has to back up further.
the officer instructed him in the video that to continue backing
And
up.
they failed to mention that Chille told the officer no more than once to back up.
Yeah.
He never, ever sat there and complied. He didn't back up until he was threatened to get arrested.
They really need to review the whole video of that. They really need to. They need to sit down and have the video right in front of them and see what happens. I don't think they watched the whole video. I think they skipped. They keep skipping the
I
video.
don't think they watched it at all.
Yeah.
And rather than backing up further, he stood his ground and said, no, I'm relying upon a fictional 10 feet rule, which I don't think is a matter of law. I don't think the First Amendment says 10 feet is automatically permissible because you can do a lot of things.
There are courts that have held 10 feet is sufficient.
Depending on what the situation is, all right?
I agree.
If I pull out a gun, is 10 feet still sufficient? We're an open carry state, for instance, so there are individuals who can carry guns. So if we were
What if there's a situation that I'm unaliving? What if there's a situation that was, the person is dangerous at the same time? There's a lot of case that, that was like that way and stuff like that. Like, what if that happens? Of course, Chille doesn't care so long as it's in his freaking video. If he got unalive because of that traffic stop, he still doesn't care. Wow. Just wow.
to say automatically that I'm 10 feet away and that as a matter of law, that's sufficient, I think it's very different if the individual is doing certain things. If the individual has a grenade in their hand, that's why it's time, place, and manner specific. We're not advocating, I didn't advocate for a 21-foot rule, even though that's what the officer said he was trained to do, in that he wanted the individual to move back a certain amount.
But he never vocalized that.
He didn't.
He never vocalized, said, hey, I want you to move 20, 21 feet back, go back to this line, don't come across this line. There was none of that because it happened so fast. I mean, the officer
No,
testified.
there was that. The officer did tell him that, and Chille told him no. See, this points to the fact that she never watched the video.
Yeah, I mean, the proof of that, if you guys want to see the video, the video that we watched when he got arrested, it was actually in our video as well. You guys can see it all in there for what Chille did. And also, he put his hands on the police officers at the same time. And the police officer said, oh, you're gonna put your hands on me? Now you're gonna put your hands on me? Okay, there you go. And then he got arrested for it. And he's resisting at the same time. That's another charges, which is this judge apparently don't care about it. She doesn't care about what happened to that video at the same time. They need to go deeply and watch that video at the same time. They don't want to watch it. I don't think they watch it. I really don't.
10 to 15 seconds.
Yeah, it's all on the video as well, Your Honor. So I agree that he doesn't give a specific number. And even if he had given a specific number, it's not that that specific number is somehow constitutionally permissible or not. But the point is the manner in which this individual, who's unknown to the officer, is interacting with that officer in that very manner is what the issue is for us. And based upon that, the officer can't continue to feel that he can do his job, the traffic stop, speaking with the individual, of doing any records checks that need to be done, of writing the actual ticket, while this individual is yelling, refusing to move back at a further distance, and again, with unknown motivations. In hindsight, we can look at him and perhaps say, well, he was only here to put this on his YouTube channel. But ultimately, at the time that it's happening, this officer who interacts with him, who even tells him, you're allowed to film, but I need you to continue backing up. I think that's what the reasonableness is. That's what the time, place, and manner restriction is, not some magical number. As we point out in our brief, I think what Mr. DeCastro believes and what counsel believes is that because Blake said 10 feet, that there's this line of 10 feet, and no matter what, I can do whatever I want within 10 feet. And I think even Wilson, although I understand it's remanded for further hearings, goes against that proposition that, oh, there's some type of magical number or anything like that. This individual.
Isn't that what they always said? They can do whatever they want.
Joel Wilson is yelling as there's a suicidal individual who is obviously a delicate situation. The police don't want this individual to hurt himself. And Wilson continues to yell and interfere with what's going on. Specifically in Wilson too, that even though they say physical conduct again is made up of multiple different things, including what we do with our bodies, but as well as what we're saying and how we're acting throughout the course of the interaction. And Wilson acknowledges that. In fact, they cite a treatise, what constitutes obstructing or resisting an officer. And if you look at that particular treatise, I mean, it goes on for multiple pages of various conduct that would entail obstructing. So here, it's not simply about the words. It's not simply about the fact that Mr. DeCastro was annoying. It's not simply about the fact that Mr. Castro was saying things like calling the officer doggy and whatnot. It's not about that. It's the totality of the circumstance which prohibited the officer from being able to safely and adequately conduct the traffic stop. And that's.
Well, he immediately released her.
He did.
Also. I mean, he gets out of the car. I mean, it appears to me he was gonna release her regardless, because it was so fast. He said, "You're free to go," and then he went to take care of the other issue.
Yeah, well, I mean, what we have in this particular one is he went and did the records check, and then he mentioned too, she was surprised or even confused by the fact that she had an issue with her registration. Exactly. Now, again, I don't want to, it's speculating to assume what happened there, but certainly those are the facts that came out at trial. And so ultimately, whether he was going to ticket her or not, he may have ticketed her. Obviously, he pulled her over because the system, as he testified, said that there was an issue with her license. But because of the fact that this all went on, perhaps the obstructing was that he didn't feel comfortable to write. It wasn't worth writing this ticket. She already was informed of it so that he could deal with this other situation.
Yeah, it wasn't worth him writing the ticket because he had to deal with Chille being obnoxious and not listening.
Yeah, obviously they didn't watch the whole thing. They didn't investigate it deeply and all that stuff. They just continuously wanna lie and all that stuff. Make Chille win for it. Look at him, like he's giving them a big smile right now because once he get out of there, he's gonna have a lot of money on his pocket.
Of this individual who's clearly obstructing with his ability to get to the very end of his investigation, whether he was going to release her or whether he was going to write the ticket. But the problem is the impediment is the individual who's continuing to yell and stand a number of
You
feet
could
away.
never do that then, if all the officer had to do was say, because I had to go deal with this, I couldn't write the citation, right?
I think it's time, place, and manner specific though. In this particular case, when you watch the video, I think he is that much of a problem that this officer ended up, talking to him more.
But what's the obstruction? It's not the words and it's not the filming. I mean, the officer, to his credit, he said right away, you can film, you just need to back up. And I understand he didn't want him talking to the driver, but it didn't appear to me as though after he was instructed, don't talk to my driver, he didn't talk to her anymore. Is that accurate?
That is accurate, yes.
Right.
And everyone does it.
Right, and then he backed up. I mean, I understand the officer didn't think it was enough, and so, I mean, is it just that he didn't back up far enough for the officer? That was the obstruction?
He didn't back up far enough in addition to the manner in which he was acting. So had there been a conversation saying, officer, and again, everything is so fact specific, right? But the fact that DeCastro was immediately yelling, arguing with the officer about the amount of backing up that needs to be done, that's what the issue is. It isn't about the space in itself or the distance in itself. It's a combination of factors of everything involved. Now, Mr. Oram says that depending on who the officer was and where it was at night, I believe where it was could play into it, but I think it's an unfair statement to assume that some officer, simply by virtue of being a female, would.
So what are they basically saying? Like the police officer was in the wrong on this one instead of Chille? Like what the hell?
Well, the prosecutor's saying it wasn't just one factor or the other. It was a bunch of things leading up to it, which in fact it was. But again, there was a lot of ignorance going on here today.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing right now. It's just, it's such a headache. Oh my God.
I think the prosecutor honestly was arguing a lot of the wrong points and not focusing on the major points.
Right. They need to.
Let's put this show out of its misery.
Please. Oh my God.
somehow be in an incredibly worse position, and that Mr. DeCastro, for instance, would treat her differently or would need to treat her differently than the officer that we have involved here. I think
Well, if it was in Ely on the side of the road at 3 a.m. on that road between
for any
Reno
individual,
and Vegas,
for any individual, I would agree. For any individual.
I agree.
I'm just saying that it seems incredibly sexist to say that somehow a female officer would be unable to defend herself on that Ely road, but somehow a male officer would be automatically good to deal with the DeCastros of the world who want to interfere with the investigation. That's what I'm simply saying. That I at least wholeheartedly disagree with the characterization there in terms of the time, place, and manner. But I agree, an isolated road could be a factor, but they're all just factors. This case has its own facts. There will be other cases that come through the line, but I'm just arguing that pursuant to these particular facts, he was convicted of obstructing. And Mr. Arm doesn't address at all that second issue, which has to do with the resisting portion of things. Now, I think the case law is clear.
That Lisenby case, I mean, so even if, let's say, even if I agree that this was an obstruction, it was unlawful to detain him, that Lisenby case seems to indicate he still can't resist.
And that would be our argument. He hasn't addressed it, I'm sure he will on this reply, but that's the last of my argument. Thank you.
And I'll address that. First of all, I didn't mean in any way, Judge, if you could take the biggest male officer, I meant just giving the scenario, it could be 1 in the morning, 3 in the morning, female, male. I didn't mean it that way. I just meant the visual of how it's different there. What I just heard was sort of interesting. Mr. Chen just said, I didn't argue the 21-foot rule because it didn't, it's not applicable. They sure did it dry, didn't they? That's what they argued. Even the prosecutor argued it. So Mr. Chen is only retreating from it because it's not a rule and it makes no sense. It's something used, as we talked about, in self-defense type issues.
Right, but if the officer would have said that, I'm not sure that would have been unreasonable. I really want you to be about 21 feet back, give me some space, and don't go.
The driver's clear saying, okay, what if he was? And he caught it on film. And not to,
it's
Right, yeah. Oh, you're right. Okay, you're right. I stand corrected. For whatever reason, I guess misdemeanor 6 months, 6 months. Yes, so she gives him, but the state didn't ask for that. They asked for concurrent 90 days suspended. It goes to show what really happened. There were so many different errors, and I can tell the court has a good handle of this. Judge, there is no resistance. He was irritated. It helps them sometimes, and also
if there's a probability of substantial harm or death, then individuals can actually interfere and wouldn't be obstructed. So the case law, I just want to point out that distinction, but otherwise I think it is.
Okay, so at this time, the court's gonna grant the appeal and reverse the convictions based on its First Amendment protected conduct. And Mr. Orm, you can prepare the order.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Jonathan.
He needs to be released from custody, so.
He'll be released.
That is totally BS. Wow. That is BS. That's totally BS. He needs to be released. Wow. This is crazy. This is crazy. Now he's going to be out there doing crazy stuff, and it's going to be worse. And it's going to be worse than before. It's going to be painful. Oh, man. This is crazy. This is insane. Wow. No. Oh. Mm-mm.
Ready, sir? No. That is an arrestable offense. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Oh, wow. Huh. Back up. Back up. Wow. That is painful. That is totally painful. That's insane. Dude. That is crazy. Well, anyways, we're gonna end. We're gonna end this part. We've been streaming for like 2 hours, 2:30. Anyways, that's it. There you go. There's an update for Mr. Chille De Castro. He was out there. He's gonna be out in jail for this. You know, that's crazy. That is crazy. Oh man, I it's total headache right there. But anyways, do you want to say anything before we go, Rose?
Thank you, everyone, for coming out, and I hope everyone has a good night.
All right, and once again, happy birthday to Pirate Hacker, once again, and also thank you guys for watching Empire of Arts. And if you guys want to get updated for our new upcoming live stream and new video that we were about to upload, and also if you guys wanted me to do an animated portrait request, all the info is in our Discord that was in the description down below. You can click it and join the Discord, and also DM me for all information and all that stuff. Some information are already in live stream rules and stuff like that, and Discord. That's it. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye, everyone.
Well, I'm a great big dildo. I'm a dildo. I'm a great big dildo.
Ha! Gay!